Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our May edition of our Traffic Talk. I'm Jeanne Ingersoll, our Director of Business Development with ShopperTrack Analytics North America. And as always, I'm joined by our retail expert, Mr. Grant Gustafson, our Head of Retail Consulting. So great to be with you. I look forward to this every single month.
Hey, Jeannie. It's nice to be back, especially now that our weather's a little nicer here in Chicago.
Yes, absolutely. We are always very appreciative of that. And you know what, now that we've actually moved past the big spring gifting holidays, so think of Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and even really the early holiday prep that retailers often find themselves in the midst of right now, they often also find themselves asking, what's next? And you and I know that historically this stretch can really feel like a quieter period when it comes to retail and seeing traffic peak and those sorts of things. But what we're seeing more and more, which is really interesting, is that it's not necessarily about waiting for the demand, it's about actually creating it. So retail today isn't just about transactions, right? We know it's much more about entertainment and experience and connection, and from in-store events to really immersive merchandising and pop-up moments. Retailers are truly giving shoppers a reason to come in, even when they don't feel like they truly need something, right? It's kind of like this fear of missing out. And so that's where solutions like our Orbit AI and Video AI solutions are really starting to shine. And it's really helping retailers better understand this new kind of experience-driven shopper, which is really exciting. So Grant, what are you seeing right now? And what's actually driving foot traffic in stores during this mid-year window?
Yeah. So this is always a really interesting time of year, kind of as we shift from a period where seasonal changes are really driving demand and head into the summer holidays, which are really all about celebrating with others. It's interesting because to your point, it's really about entertainment. The first quarter of the year really played out as expected. We saw all the usual peaks and valleys, but overall retail traffic was right in line with historical trends. Total retail was down 2.1% to start the year. But when we move beyond kind of that traditional promotional calendar, traffic is driven less by urgency and promotion and more by engagement, to the point, summer retail is really entertainment. It's about getting out and it's about experiencing, the mall, the store, the merchandise, and the event. Retailers that are really winning this time of year, this period, are ones that really lean into that experience. Things like in-store events, product demos, limited time activations, or even just really highly curated store layouts, that invite shoppers to explore are really what's driving business right now. And that's what's cool about that is that's really where Orbit AI really shines. It allows retailers to go beyond the simple traffic counting and really helps them understand how shoppers are engaging, with those experiences. A couple of kind of core use cases come to mind, which is first is all about measuring the overall engagement beyond the door. So not just who came in, but where did they go? How long did they stay? And what drew their attention? But also, how do we optimize, the experiential journey? Testing and refining layouts or activations in near real time, or aligning labor or merchandising to where engagement is actually happening in the store, not just to traffic. As we look at, this time really, and at the end of the day, it's really helping retailers answer those really important questions about where are shoppers, why are shoppers in our store? Are we giving shoppers a reason to explore, stay, and come back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I heard you say a couple of really key points there. Number one is understanding which experiences are actually working. I feel like you have a bunch of retailers these days who are trying to just make the experience for the sake of making the experience because they know that's what they're going to need in order to stay relevant. But what experiences are actually working and driving that customer loyalty? But more importantly, what do the repeated visits of a shopper actually mean? And how are we best aligning our labor and our merchandising to make sure that we're meeting the shoppers where they're at in the store? I love that. It really, really highlights how the definition of conversion is truly evolving based on what we're seeing. And it's not always about an immediate purchase either. Sometimes success can look like increased dwell time or these repeat visits or even just deeper engagement with the brand. So it's interesting. I feel like you and I can both agree, and I think we've seen this with our retail partners too, that retailers who embrace that mindset and use data to validate it and make those key decisions are really the ones that are going to build stronger long-term relationships with their customers.
Absolutely. I always say, interior analytics is really about adding the quantitative to the qualitative. So you finally have the ability to have some data behind what you're feeling in your stores.
Totally. Awesome, Grant. Thank you so much for that. So if you're looking to better understand how shoppers are experiencing your stores and what these experiences mean and what they're driving, or how to drive traffic during these in-between retail moments, we would truly love to help. We've actually been offering some pilots and extending some pilots out to some of our existing customers and brand new partner brands. We would really love to partner with you to see how Orbit AI can give you a clearer picture of your in-store experience. You can find both Grant and I on LinkedIn. Stay tuned for our traffic talk for the month of June. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next month. Thanks, Grant.
Bye, Jeannie.
Bye.